So what I've learned like now, right, is that all like our friendship group, all our friends who did engineering with us, I mean, they're all really, really smart. I was pretty average. When you go through the different years, and this is for I guess those who are new to uni or like entering uni or just started uni, you learn that it's not really how good your grades are as you go through each year. It's friendships you make because
Yeah.
when you go into the real world, when you start doing your careers, it's these friends who help you prepare for those interviews,
Yeah.
help you
Yeah.
get into those interviews in the very first place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other ones who actually help you prepare for those real life scenarios.
Yeah.
All my friends now, I think even Pratik, that we don't do engineering anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone did engineering. This Colin did. Colin does.
Kind of.
Ben.
Oh.
Ben does.
So
yeah.
one guy out of like 10, 12
Yeah,
of
10
us
you, yeah.
does engineering, right? But we all have an engineering degree. Ben does like network engineering and he studied chemistry in uni. So chemical engineering, sorry,
Oh.
chemical engineering uni. But I think what the beauty about, let's say, an engineering degree is the different soft skills that you learn, like critical thinking. How do you solve a problem? How do you build a framework? But also resilience, right? Like when you fail a subject, okay, what do you do to make sure that you pass again? And you start figuring out, is this the right career for me? Is this the right degree for me? Do I want to actually pursue this? If there is a passion for it, that's okay. Try again. Because I think in engineering, what I've seen is that a lot of those who are really successful, they failed many times, but they were willing to do it again because they were very passionate about that degree or that career pathway. And those of us who got through it because our bar was don't fail, not all of us kept doing the engineering degrees, but we went on to have also pretty successful careers in other areas as well. And it's really thanks to the friends that we've made
Yeah.
Yeah.
and the skills that we've learned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Networking is very important.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah, so important.
Yeah, doing all those side things is very important. Societies or
Yeah.
sports or, just chilling with people and talking and stuff.
I would also say going to like parties help.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's not
Teaches you a lot.
Yeah. Like
How to drink. I mean, how to
No,
socialize.
Yeah, how to socialize.
Uh,
How to, meet new people and connect with them,
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Socialize.
You can't say the same.
Yes. No, I can. Yes.
It was all about drinking juice for Pratik.
But
What'd you say?
I actually met my partner, fiance now. Hey babe, Angelina. Hey, how's it going? But I met her through a friend's birthday party actually. But like that's not the point. It's not to find love, but it's really just to get to meet a lot more different people. Because a friend of a friend, they would have different backgrounds and different experiences. And when you connect with them, there are things that you can learn from each other that you can't do in a university setting. You can't sit next to someone in a uni hall
That's
or like a
literally how I
lecture.
started my entire career. Like, because I didn't do engineering, right? Engineering work. So pretty much how I got my first job and everything, just because of people
yeah.
and just happened to meet people and stuff and talk.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And I think those parties that you meet, it's really just like it's like another networking event, I feel. But but don't see it as a networking event.
Yeah.
Right? Go there, socialize, make friends.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Go learn
have
about
fun.
people and stuff and just
But-
have fun.
And they naturally, organically grow into your own network after.
Yeah.
So don't just focus on studies. I feel
Yeah.
like also
Even
make
like
sure you
going
have
to
the
those
balance.
networking events that have companies there, you're better off going there and socializing rather than trying to like give your business card and trying
resume.
to like,
Yeah, I've done
I'm
all
such
that.
an A-grade student or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Because you're better like if you hit it off with the people that are there from the different companies, just socially, you'll get more out of that than if they're like, oh yeah, this guy's smart, great. But they know that you don't have experience and whatever, and they're not necessarily always on the hunt for those recruits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But socially, it'll get you further if you socialize.
That's one
totally
of
agree.
the regrets I have about not socializing enough in uni. I think I was very limited in some opportunities. Some of my friends, they like got into like pretty reputable companies just because they networked, and then, like they're like, oh, like if you have a position, then like could you like recommend me, all that stuff. But for me, it was always like I quite literally went to class, went home, went to work, went home. I didn't do anything of like, I didn't join any societies.
I mean, Sam and I, and like large majority, or significant majority of the group did Muay Thai and boxing, right?
Yeah.
Was
And
that a society? And
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
Ooh.
Yeah, we had a society. I mean, there was a gym nearby that we
Yeah.
all went to as well. That was more proper.
Was that a social thing, or was that just to
It
get?
became a social thing. Like I mean, like we all liked it. We all wanted to learn, be better, and stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously, the more you rock up, you see the same people again. For any social activity, the more you rock up, you see the same people again and again. The more familiar you get with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'll find people that you'll definitely connect with or like have commonalities with,
Yeah.
and it'll automatically click.
Yeah.
Right. And I think, especially going to something that you actually like doing, like Muay Thai, we both loved it.
I think we met through Muay Thai.
We met through Muay Thai, and we met I met a bunch of further friends through Muay Thai as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think if you pursue things that interest you,
Yeah.
you're more likely to like find people that are similar or have common interests, and that is so much easier. And you just have to keep rocking up again and again. If you're struggling because uni at the start can be really hard because you're like, oh, what do I do? Where do I go? I know
Yeah.
no one. Because I came from Canberra, right?
Oh,
So
right,
you guys,
right.
yeah. So when you're talking
I had
about
a lot of friends in my first year.
exactly right, because you mentioned that like
Yeah.
high school and like uni friends, etc. You really social, right? I was lucky. I was living on campus. So there's friends from that, but other
Yeah.
than that, like, it's not. I didn't know anyone else, right?
Yeah.
It's like, where do you go?
Mm.
So just wherever you go, just keep rocking up more and more.
Yeah.
Once you find
You
that you
had
like
to.
it.
You
Yeah.
had to.
I think it's so because I came from Adelaide, so I totally get what you mean.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like, I think I had to do like this whole like awkward. Hey, my name is Sam. Like twice
Sounds so
because the
familiar.
first time was my first. I actually did first year uni 2013. I graduated high school 2012. Went to uni for a year in 2013, and I remember coming like from Adelaide, and you go into the university. I went to UNSW. UNSW is like, oh, like, so many Asians. Whoa, like that's a lot.
Don't worry, that was my first reaction as well.
Right. No, that was my because when you come from Adelaide is like pretty mixed. Right. When I go to UNSW, I'm like, oh, there's like so many Asians. It's just kind of nice too. But then you go to your first lecture and like literally I was sitting next to this random guy and I'd be like, hey, hi, how's it going? My name's Sam. Like, what's yours? And I do this whole thing. I think the beauty about doing that is you do it once, you actually make friends. Sometimes you sit next to a guy who doesn't have friends ever. Maybe they're from like Canberra or somewhere else, and you guys become
Hey,
really
why'd you
good
look at me
friends.
like that?
Because you're from Canberra, right?
Yeah. The guy that had no friends from Canberra.
But like when I think back to my first year of uni, I just remember meeting like engineering people and they're all so nice and I figured cool, like I gotta go to do my 2 years of service, but when I come back, I wanna come back to UNSW, I wanna do engineering again. But then I reset this whole cycle. And I think when I came back my second year, and this is so important as well, like I think luck plays a little bit as well. You gotta be able to meet someone that helps you connect to all those group of friends as well. And I think the only way to do that is just to like reach out and have a chat with them. I think one of my first few friends that I met back was actually Colin. So I don't know how you met Colin, but like the way Colin and I met was very romantic.
Don't worry. The way
Wait,
I met
wait,
him.
I can tell a little bit more, but like
Okay,
we just finished like this mechatronics course. I can't remember what it is. MCRN 2500. I don't know if it's still
Wow.
similar. I remember
So
that
much
course.
detail.
So much detail.
You're gonna be
It's that romantic.
disappointed.
That romantic.
I don't even remember. How I met him.
Yeah, see?
See,
No,
that's
no,
why.
I know
That's what
roughly
happens.
how,
It's not that
but like,
romantic.
I don't remember the first time. Like the exact
Oh
first
man,
time.
I remember the first time because we were like just finishing course. And I think I was just sitting down there, and then like this guy starts walking up to me. I might be making this stuff up, Colin. Yeah, well, we finished TAFE, and then like I was just sitting there, and then it was just I think it was me and like this other guy. It was Colin. And like we were thinking, I think we were taking the same bus back to back home.
Yeah.
And Colin like approached. And he was like, "Hey, how's it going?" And then we just started talking. And then he invited me to Muay Thai Society. That's why we
Aw.
did our first date together. It was great. And then we had this like Muay Thai barbecue
I
thing.
don't know this.
But like from there, like I got to meet like Daniel, I got to meet Pratik, I got to meet like the rest of my friendship group. So I think it's so important that if you meet the right person, it's good to create that relationship because like that's how your friendship group grows.
Yeah,
That's how your
lasting
network
friends.
grows. Yeah.
Yeah.
was that romantic. I
How's
think it was
it
a full moon
romantic?
too. You can
He
see, like,
literally
the
just invited you
moon
to
and
Muay
all that.
Thai.
It's so
what's
because it was like it was nighttime. It was like 11 p.m. Like the moon was in there. It was like a full moon.
It's a very one-sided
And then-
romance. The man just came
How
up to you,
come
hey, how you
description
going?
is
You're like,
different?
oh, it was love at first sight.
It was very romantic. It was 2 a.m. He came up. I didn't go to him.
Was that why it was romantic?
Yeah, it was.
A guy hasn't approached me before.
Shoot, this was like. Yeah, but I'm very grateful for that because I think like I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that that encounter with Colin. Yeah, and more.
I think my experience is more like Caroline's because I focused mostly on studies when I was studying in Melbourne. So I did my bachelor's in Melbourne. And then before that, I did a 1 whole year's course of like a language program in China to learn Chinese. And
Say something.
Ni hao.
Chinese. Yeah, in Mandarin. You did one
Ni
whole-
hao,
I already said that one. You have to say something else.
Anyone can say that.
bin qingling.
So she wasted 1 year, guys.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
And I feel like in that year, I was like very social. Like I socialized with everyone who came from different countries to study Chinese. And then when I went to Melbourne to study my bachelor's, I didn't join any societies too. And then I kind of just like stuck with only the people who did chemistry and also the people who did pharmacology. Yeah. So, but I feel like I got to know all the people who studied that. But apart from those people, I didn't really like get to know a lot of other people too.
Are you still friends with the people you met?
Yeah. We still keep in touch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's important.
Yeah.
I meet up with my uni friends like once or twice a year. But the only reason why I'm friends with them is because I got adopted by an extrovert.
Oh, that's
Yes.
nice.
She just came up to me and she's like, oh, what did you get for this answer? I'm like, yeah. Then she just got me. And then afterwards she just kept coming back. Jenny, you know. She kept coming back and then, yeah, that's how I got adopted by an extrovert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like almost the same thing, right? Like you just need that one friend that just like
Yeah.
changes
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah, mine was like a high school friend. And through her, shout out to Lillian, I met Daniel and Colin. And that's when I met everyone else as well.
I don't think Colin knew I was just like a very average student though, to be honest.
He did after the first few lectures. So Sam, what do you think about that? Wait, that was a question?
Well, to be fair, I felt like I did really good at subjects that didn't require like a lot of sit down and lecture and watch kind of stuff.
So none of them.
Yeah, some of them.
Oh, right.
2500 was like a lot of hands-on work. I did pretty good on
Oh,
those.
the coding one?
The coding one's alright.
Yeah.
Like anything that didn't require maths or physics, really. Yeah.
So Muay Thai.
The entire engineering degree. Yeah. It was fun. Yeah, it was a really good topic. I think university is so important.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
there's so much more we can talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I can say for sure, like uni changed me a lot. Like prior to uni, I was a very quiet student.
I would say I'm still shy now, but
Mm.
back then I was a bit more shy.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, really?
I was like
Yeah.
the same thing, relative.
Like I just kept to myself.
I'm
the entire
still
time.
shy. I'm
What were you
shy
like, Sam?
times.
Oh, I was super shy, dude.
You were?
What the heck?
Yeah, I was so shy.
You don't give those.
No,
vibes.
it's because like I have a battery.
I was just stressed. But, I mean,
or 4 years. You say
all 4
5?
years?
5 years.
Oh, yeah. 4 years.
How long was your degree?
No, because they changed, like at the last point, they brought trimesters. So so I had to do like one course in like this, like one of the semesters or whatever,
Yeah,
trimesters. But other than that, 4 years.
I already
Yeah.
graduated by then. I didn't have to suffer through that.
Yeah, I was working and I was doing but yeah. Yeah, 4 years. But I think like as chill as I am about it now, while going through it, there was like a lot of stress. Like, oh, you got to get a job. Oh, you got to do well. Oh, you got to.
Yeah, you know, like
gotta get the
we-
extracurriculars.
We had to get an internship They
Yeah.
have to do like
Oh,
some
yeah, the
engineering.
placement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And if you don't get it, you don't graduate.
Yeah, and then you're
Oh,
just trying to
man.
cold email and all that, cold
Yeah, it's
call.
so intense to have that as a requisite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a thing until like quite recently. I always thought like once you guys finish, then just graduate.
And that's
that's
why you
what
should
I
go to
thought too.
UTS.
Is that UTS?
Yeah, no, UTS does it, but they'll put you on it.
Oh,
They'll put you on with
Oh.
companies.
That's so much better.
Yeah.
Oh.
Actually, like speaking of UTS, sorry, like every
Time to sell UTS.
if you do like interviews with
Our proud sponsors.
but UTS, why not? But anyway, every interview that I've been to when I was applying for like, internships or grad jobs, like let's say there's like 10 people in the assessment center, you get maybe like 7 from UNSW, 2 from Sydney University of Sydney, and then 1 from UTS. And I guarantee you, like the UTS kid would always get the job as well. Like if there was like 3 opening or 2 openings, one of it belongs to UTS, to the UTS kid. Like they,
Join UTS today.
yeah, they were really good. I think they had like a good thing going, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, UNSW.
Yeah. But UNSW gets you those like interviews.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Like they respect like
The
you
name.
said UNSW. Yeah.
I think the brand or like the name of universities, I think are kind of important. But in my opinion, I've met a lot of people who don't have university backgrounds, and also it depends on career as well and what they do. I guess law, it would be important to have a good law degree.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's a necessary requirement to say that a good law degree or a good whatever degree you get means that you're great or a good employee or career or whatever. I think that what plays a major role is like, yeah, a degree is good. It gets a foot in the door for you.
Yep.
But it still requires you to have like that discipline, that hard work to really stand out amongst others in an organization if you do want to be very successful in a role. Which is so weird because I grew up watching a lot of American shows, and you think like, oh, like any, what do they call it? Ivy League universities are like what determines how good you are and like your career and like your future.
Yeah.
But now that I'm in the real world, I don't think it's necessarily true.
Yeah.
But it definitely cements them as, they must be pretty smart or they must be pretty successful to go through those universities. But it's not necessarily important to have those universities or those backgrounds because a lot of people don't have those advantages.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's more relaxed in Australia as well.
Yeah,
which is really
definitely.
good,
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, it's true, but at the same time, in states, you'd still get even further discriminated based on uni.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's true. Like your drive doesn't matter on your uni. It's just correlation or an indicator. But still, like a lot of people after uni, because after uni, life's completely different, right?
Yeah.
You have to set your own goals. You have to set your own direction.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people get lost, right? Because and happens for quite a few people that do really well in uni. They'll get like super high WAMs and like they can do all that, but once they're out, they don't have that structure anymore.
Yeah.
And so they don't know after like the first few years what they want to do, or like, I mean, not many. I don't even know.
I say like what examples of that, right? Like we weren't like HD average students and but we're doing pretty good right now, I'd say.
Yeah.
Pretty good organizations.
Yeah.
I think it definitely plays a lot, like having what Pratik said, not just discipline in university, but discipline beyond that as well. That really determines what your future will look like, because you actually mold it at that point. Because no one's telling you that you need to do all these things to get really high score to be successful. You need to actually build those goals yourself and achieve it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Academics isn't everything.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
I would say adjust your expectation as to how well you have to do or how much you have to have figured out. Like in terms of, I didn't love engineering. I didn't necessarily like it either. I kind of I did well in the degree, but I in the first 2 years, it was just like, sometimes I was like, why am I doing it? But I think throughout that, then I figured out my reasons, etc. And after that point, it just went up, like, my performance went straight up. But I think it's the expectations you have of yourself to perform, and also like, you know, you're not going to know what you want to do for the rest of your life. You're not going to, like, it's very rare that you'll know that your degree is the one that you want to follow for the rest of your career.
Yeah.
Or like you this will be what's interesting. But I think if you choose something, put as much effort into it as possible, because that'll teach you a lot more about what you like and what you don't like,
Yeah.
and help you find what you want to do.
Yes.
Take your timing in figuring out what you want to do.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
And don't compare yourself with others as well.
yeah, definitely.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
Everyone has a different timeline. Everyone has a different path.
Be humble and like ask lots of questions.
Yes.
And
that's
that
how you
applies-
learn.
I think
Yeah.
curiosity gets you
Yeah.
very
Very
far.
far.
I think from my experience, it was like, doesn't matter if you want to go to uni or you want to acquire a different skill set. But what I learned, and I learned this from my parents were extending their house back in Adelaide, and then we had this like plumber come in, and when you're up in Singapore, when you grow up in Singapore, like plumber is like, oh, it's a blue collar job, it's not like amazing, right? But then this plumber, he came in a Ferrari, and we were just so amazed. But what I really loved about it was, yeah, it was amazing, right? And I think what I love about Australia is that it's really a very opportunistic country.
Yeah.
If you're humble, if you ask a lot of questions, you can actually be very successful. Like that plumber, he actually owned his own business. He had a lot of questions trying to figure out how did he go out on his own to build his own business, to build his own like, empire, basically, right? But he was also very humble about it, right? He was also like walking us through like how he actually, the journey that he went through to get to where he is today. And this applies to anyone from wherever you want to be. If you want to be a tradesperson, just because you do a different line of work that doesn't have a degree doesn't mean you won't be successful. I don't think that's true. I think I've seen a lot more tradies drive like better cars than like people who are in white collar jobs.
Yeah.
Right. But if you go to university, don't be afraid to ask questions, but always remember to be humble.
Yeah.
I wish I asked more questions. I wish I asked lecturers more questions, because a lot of the times I didn't know what I was doing, right? Like I literally had to rely on Jungu to teach me stuff. Jungu had to like ask Colin, right? So
A second-hand teacher.
and it was so good for me. But I was really
Second.
no, because lecture is the first.
Oh yeah.
it's
First.
the third hand.
Second.
Third.
But
Completely forgot about the lecturer.
it was so good, right? Like, but I was so comfortable asking questions to Jungu because he was so patient with me.
Yeah.
But I think lecturers are mostly like that. I had a great lecturer in my master's degree, Dr. Lauren Kirk, if you see her around. She was so patient. I think it changed my perspective of what lecturers were like, because she was answering a lot of questions. She didn't really judge. I felt like when I was doing the rest of my degrees, I felt very judged because I wasn't performing as great as my other people in my degree. But this lecturer she was so different. And I realized that actually a lot of lecturers are like that. Their goal is to support you to be successful.
Yeah.
They don't really care if you're not like a HD student, but they definitely don't want you to fail, right? So you should just ask them questions. Don't ask too many stupid questions.
Yeah.
Sort of think about it first.
Yes.
But because they don't have a lot of time, right? So you gotta make sure you utilize your time well. But ask questions, actually understand what the problem is that you're trying to solve. And I think that gives you a really strong foundation to be successful, not just in uni, not just in your tradescraft, but also in your career, but also in life.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very good
Yes.
advice.